all right, here we go. Listen, rise and grind. It's that time. We're a couple minutes early. What's the opposite of a snooze button? A rise and grind button? Hit that rise and grind button. We're up. We're up. We're doing it. I know I start at 6. It's 5:56. I'm a rebel. I don't care. Anyway, cheers. Got my nice fat coffee mug full of nice hot coffee. Ready to go. Got Wipeout. Is a battle cleric still toxic with no group members around to you know. Oh, we got Sheriff on the way. All right, good. I could be toxic. Let's go. Bardotron, Ishiwatari EQ, Antonius Block Parties. Good to see you all. It is bright and early. Sun's about to rise, you know? The dawn's early light, as we say. Coming. Coming. This is oh, I'm back. I was just streaming yesterday evening on my oh, Farotron's asking Ishi how he's feeling. Oh yeah, one big happy family around here. I love it. I gotta move my window over. I read the first half of that sentence and I'm like, how am I feeling? But when I saw Ishi, I said, hold on, let me get is undead. Oh, Wipeout, almost 57 here. I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to do it today, this morning. Glad to hear Ishi's doing a little better each day. Alright, let's go. See a few players online. We fought Paisano before, right? Ali. Fought him way deep down in Split Paw one time. I was playing Sussy. I went, used the Invis pot, got down in there. Suppliers up. Well, I don't think I need a bag. No, I got a light burlap sack. We'll wait on that for a minute. See if anybody else logs in that needs it. Just peeking and poking around. See what we see. Frenzy. Yeah, Frenzy. That's good. Let's start here. Orgul Wizard. It's dark green. Needs to get all the right spells up. Right now, it would appear just about none of the right spells up. We were doing a group thing. We were in what's it called? The hole last time, right? And we weren't even to the undead part yet, so it's like none of these spells are right. Alright. Easy enough. I don't have haste on War Off, but that means I'll proc more, right? Do I have Unswerving Hammer of Faith yet? Panduи TP. I'm gonna let you guess. Did I do any homework? Have I prepared? I'll let you guess. I'll let you guess. I'm not sure where that one's from. Let's look it up. I haven't been on Wipeout since last stream on Wipeout, and I went straight to here. I gated from the hole to Guck. You know, I did summon some food, so I have some summoned food and drink. I did not, you know, I didn't stop at a vendor, buy any spells. Let's look it up. Unswerving Hammer of Faith. It's good to see you this morning. We're rising and grinding over here. Holy shit, this thing is rude. Damn, don't kill me. Really gonna die just refusing to accept the fact that this thing is still alive. Another hammer. Hold up. There it is. That would have been good, maybe. We're okay. We're okay. Let's look up Unswerving Hammer of Faith. This sounds like it would be good DPS, right? Every little bit helps when you're a cleric, a battle cleric. Toxic battle cleric at that. Okay, so where do you get this? Oh, the quest. Okay, so this is a quest one for Lunarch spells. I got a hand in. Yelp 4 would be a good one, right? Because I think I can get that off Lodi. I got a bunch of these if that's the case. I know one of these cleric spells is also like a Lodi drop pally spell. Maybe I don't know that, but I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, okay. So I probably have a ton of Yelp 4s. We'll hand them in. We'll try to get I gotta go Firion of I. It's alright. Heroic Bond, got that. Sunskin, don't have that. Word of Vigor, don't have that. What's that, AoE nuke, I'm guessing? Oh, the wiki's having troubles again today, huh? There's been issues with the wiki, huh? P99 in general. I heard a little something. Anyway, we're just getting started over here. I'm about to pull this frenzy. Wiki's been goofy lately, yeah. Get back. Alright, let's just do this without further ado. 50 mana? That's like a million mana if you ask me. Did I land a heal on Sargeist? I thought I did. I healed myself twice? Is that what happened? No. I only healed myself, I didn't heal. Okay. Ooh, you can reclaim the unswerving hammer. That's awesome. I love a little sneaky trick like that. Oh, what the fuck? Why is this wand joining in? Alright. Yuck. Not my DA, I guess. Waiting for this root to wear off. Any second now. Any second. There we go. There's a proc. Love to see it. So I wasn't even planning on starting at Frenzy. There just happened to be a Frenzy up. I mean, why not? I don't know who was in here last. Anybody creeping around? We got your stuff. Next up's Supplier. You know? I guess we'll give a little heal over time to Sherieth. Just don't get used to it, okay? Still lean on your life tap. What'd we get? Oh yeah, I forgot we still had one in camp. Just back up into it and sit. Ooh, a big ring. It is what it is. It's almost never the sash, let's face it. But sometimes it is. Got Essence of Wrath and a Rune of Wrath. How strange. Okay. Next up. More Frangs. Just a dark green, I believe. Quiet morning on Red 99. 6 players. But it's so early. You know? I might have slept in today, but then again, I kind of couldn't wait to dive on into Norath, see what's going on in the swamp, all that stuff. I'm immersed. I'm an immersed EverQuest enjoyer. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Um, they can't keep me away for too long. Yesterday I was playing Tony Hawk. It was rough, admittedly. You know, I thought it was gonna be like riding a bike, and I'd be hitting like big combos. You know, stringing some stuff together with some manuals. Oof. The controls feel different. I don't know. They have different keybinds, right? There's like, what do they call it? Modern, and then there was like modern flipper, which I didn't understand what was different. Maybe I should look at that. And then there was classic, I think they called it, and classic felt very wrong. I could not get into the classic controls. It didn't feel classic to me. I played more console than PC for Tony Hawk, but I did play some PC Tony Hawk enough that I think there'd be some muscle memory there. But modern didn't feel right. Didn't feel what I remember. Classic didn't feel what I remember. Maybe the flipper. You know, I didn't really try that one. That was the other option. It's always the one I don't try, right? Anyway, I had fun anyway. Got a few goals done. So my goal was controller. When I installed it, Steam popped up with a thing saying plug in any controller, and it showed example controllers. And PlayStation, I think I used a PlayStation 4 controller, and I thought that was one of their examples. Nothing, it didn't recognize anything. Like nothing happened when I plugged it in. And as usual, I had a little bit of a time constraint, so I just moved on. Just went with the keyboard, but it wasn't my plan. I was like actually excited to try to use the controller. The game's meant for a controller, right? They tell you that right there when you're installing it too. It's like, come on, do the controller. We designed it for controller. You're gonna have a good time with the controller. So I was, I don't want to say struggling with the keyboard, but it was a little rough, knocking the rust off. I'm gonna practice that this week, I think. So next time, maybe on Tuesday, I'll be I'm always getting rooted like on the first fucking hit. Uh, be fun. I was playing with the music off. Maybe we'll do it with the music on next time. Tony Hawk means controller time. Yeah, especially like once my fingers were on the keys that they want you to put the keys on. Like obviously you could. Well, I don't know about obviously, but you could probably rebind individual keys. I didn't notice that option, but I'm sure it's there somewhere. But I just like I don't know. I just put my hands down where they tell me to put them down. It just didn't feel right. Like the hitting the moves was tough, tough. Especially because I thought I had to hold forwards to go forwards. You don't. You like go forwards. that just happens. So once I stopped trying to hold forwards, I was having a much easier time. But that took me like, most of the stream to figure out. It's all good. Got couple secret tapes, or at least one secret tape. Um, got some stat points with a new addition to the, I got the 1+2 remaster, and if they added tons of goals, because I remember the first game you would have like a handful of goals per run, right? There was secret tape, spell skate, and then maybe like some other kind of seek and destroy type thing. I think the first level was boxes, right? Barrels or boxes, one of those. Got to bust something up. I think that was a classic one, but it's just a couple. You beat those 4 or 5, and that's it for the level. There's like gaps you can, turn blue in the list versus like gray. And you go for, high scores or whatever. They added kind of the more modern Tony Hawk stuff, which I think is a good touch. Gives the levels more replayability, perhaps, because now you got to get, not only the high score and the 6 score or whatever, but the combos. Maybe that's classic too, but others there's like an extra seek and destroy probably, or just find stuff, find 5 of this, 5 of that, and they added stat points, which is good. Get your stats up. I just rolling with the default everything. I just picked Tony Hawk for my first streams. Didn't pick a skater. They let you create a skater now. It's like all the stuff that you wish the first couple games had. It has now. I think it's good. I picked it up on sale. I'm happy about that. I love a good Steam sale. Makes me feel like I'm a smart shopper. I think I'll get my money's worth. The price of Tony Hawk 1+2 on sale is still like multiple of the, kind of indie releases that I've been buying. So I was like a big purchase, but it was a nice price. Can't really complain about that. $15 for 2 games. I feel like that's reasonable for a finished product like that. Like it really feels complete. Anyway, it's a remaster. You know what I mean? If you're like taking a finished game and then like making it feel incomplete, maybe don't remaster. But anyways, it's fun. And then I think I started going downhill. Like I was doing really bad, and then I started warming up a little bit and getting it back, and then I started doing really bad again, and then I was like, it's time for Dungeon Clawler. And I got to floor 20, got to the boss for a 4th time on the Frost one, right? Baroness von Frost. 4th time seeing the boss, 4th time losing to the boss. And this one, it was tragic. You were there, Antonius Block Party. You saw. Could not hold on to that icicle when I needed it. Just a lot of things. A lot of... yeah. And that one turn was like unfair. I don't know what happened there. I gotta like rewatch. I've never seen that since. Never seen it before, where just my turn just ended itself. And it wasn't even taking that long, I don't think. Like, yeah, I was yapping a little bit, but what else is there? I'm always yapping a little bit, and it hadn't happened to any other. Anyways, it's so fresh in my mind because it was last night. I'm still reeling. I thought I had that one. I was almost celebrating early. That's probably why I dropped that icicle. Anyways, yeah, the harpoon. Spent the whole first turn trying to get the harpoon. The whole second turn getting the harpoon. And then the third turn where I get to use the harpoon. The one time I get to use it. The turn ended itself before I got to do anything. And then I barely lost. If I had had any of those 3 turns to deal a little bit of damage, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Coulda, shoulda, woulda. I'll try again. Like Fippy Darkpaw. That boss has not seen the last of me. Anyway, I have nobody to blame but myself on that one, really. Because, you know, the power was in my hands. Yeah, it was so close. Like, it was really any more damage, any change in what played out would have set me over the edge. Because it was just like, ugh. Got him so low, and then he just stayed low because I couldn't finish him off. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. There's something to talk about today, that's for sure. We're down here, you know, clearing, clearing everything. Hey, thank you for that follow. If you enjoy EverQuest, then make sure you check out the Sunday Swamptacular Splashfest 2025, which is, of course, happening every Sunday in 2025. Good to see you, Adrian Wojcik. Let me break, you know, we'll break the camp one way or another. If the passy don't work, then the root CC will have to do. I'm getting procs too.
Runs with Sheep rated your channel with 9 viewers.
Hey, Runs with Sheep. Thank you for that. Welcome down. It's hey, rise and grind. We're doing it. Doing it big this morning. Flowers of happiness here. You guys enjoy EverQuest? I know I do. My favorite Y2K compliant elf simulator. We do it big every Thursday morning. We rise and grind. Late night for you? Hey, well, shift change. I'm here now, you know? Your viewers are in good hands. I appreciate that raid. Let me hit you with a follow right now. So I can check you out next time I see you streaming. If you do late nights, you know, you might see me rarely. You know, if I can't sleep, I might pop on. But I'm usually, you know, early to bed, early to rise these days. This is Red 99. We're on the PvP server. It's, you know, the legendary crew. The #1 undisputed heavyweight champs. Flowers of happiness, you know? The real deal. We're here. We run this. This was your first ever EverQuest stream? Hey! Welcome to the community. We got a nice little, the Twitch EQ community is best in slot. You know what I mean? You can't do any better. You really can't. Like, say it all the time. You're gonna love it. But, yeah, I was just saying, I was just hyping up the Sunday stream, right? Weekend's right around the corner. I'm here on EQ twice a week. Thursday before work, I pop in, you know? We occupy this place. I'm the healer. It's never good. Never good when I'm the healer. I don't heal. Just hit him with a couple real quick. I don't even have complete heal mend. Yeah, I mean EQ, it's like it's not going anywhere. We've been enjoying EQ for so long, us EQ enjoyers, that you know, time is just a number. The year is just a number. I play on like the classic, you know, P99. It's the red server, so it's a little sparsely populated, you know, the few, the proud, the vocal minority. We exist. We play EverQuest too. It's a little different, you know, because we're a little more paranoid. We're always checking /who. We got our heads on swivels and stuff, and we're always talking about like not overextending and stuff like that. But you know, we're still playing EverQuest at the heart of the matter. We got to get the XP. We got to pick up the spells, which I don't do. I'm missing some big spells. You played EQ at age of 11 and taught you how to type? That's awesome. I also learned how to type thanks to EQ. I don't know how old I was. Probably maybe a couple of years older than that. I was a bad typer. It would give me anxiety. Typing class was my worst class. And you know, I like to pick and peck. But you couldn't pick and peck in EQ. You don't put your head down too long, you're getting killed. So I had to learn the home row. And, you know, now I type fast with decent accuracy. All thanks to EQ, you know? Norath did what Mavis Beacon never could. Anyways, I took like 8 years off from EQ. I I would say traveled the world, but I did not. Um, I tried some other games, but I came back. You know, EQ called me back, and I'm so happy to see that it's like, you know, it's still here, solid as ever. You learned a lot of vocab from EQ. You say Antonio's Block Party. Spell names do got some deep dictionary cuts. Um, Definitely. There's been some words that have come in handy. But I definitely learned from EQ. Okay, this is something I brought up a couple times. I've never gotten any backup on. Maybe this is me imagining things, but I could have sworn back in the day they had effect with an E and effect with an A switched like almost every opportunity. They had the wrong one. And because of that, I used to use the wrong one, and I still got to like think about which one's which. I could have sworn there was like a patch one day where they're finally like, all right, we fixed effect and effect. My bad. You know what I mean? Like, but there was a while that they had the wrong ones. I could have sworn. But we were talking about 25 years ago, and my memory might not be the best. I could be just trying to make excuses for my own, you know, lacking of English skills. It's all good. The important thing is, I'm actually sitting and the mana's going up. Right? You ever just like wonder what's taking so long and you're standing? That's not the problem today. I've been sitting. I've been doing good. You wouldn't know the word amiable without EQ. Yeah, you know what? It's one of those words that it's like common enough, but EQ really, defined it. It uh puts it in perspective, right? Amiable, that's way better than like indifferent. Anyways, just chilling. We get a little more mana before we pull the next room. Just a little bit. I think I'll grab a little snack. We're just getting started over here. We got over an hour and a half to go. I think in that time, if I don't hit 57 in an hour and a half, I got some problems. I think we're hitting 57 within a half hour, but we'll see. We'll see. 50s, these, mid to upper 50s, they're not known for their quickness around they're a little grindy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. We'll chat more in a sec. Be right back. All right. All right. Whoops. Back. Cleared the three Dars, the Sentinel, Frenzy Room. I think there's a Dar right across the way over here. Yeah, yeah. if I pull it right now, it's going to run through one of the two rooms, right? There's a pit. It won't go through the pit. It'll go around through the secret curtains. There's one on one side, one on the other side. And it'll pull potentially the room that it runs through. But if I'm high enough level and they're low enough level, it won't. Sheriff's maybe going to go do it the more safe way. Pull the curtain room first. An idea. This is Red. Valadex the Evil. It's good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Anybody that followed this morning, thank you. I didn't mean to miss it. I appreciate the follows, and it'll let you know when I go live, which I can tell you right now, Thursday mornings, Sunday mornings, and we stay solid on the Sunday all the way till the, oops, what's it called? Lose my train of thought here with all these pulls. Sunday Swamptacular Splash Fest 2025, all year long. Thursday Rise and Grind. And there's a new day in the week. It's called Tuesday. Sometimes it's Tuesday, sometimes it's Wednesday. You gotta keep an eye out for that. But that's the only day where you'll see me playing stuff that isn't EQ. I might play EQ too. You can't stop me. People trash on Red. What do I like about Red? Oh, I love it. First of all, it's still EQ, right? P99 Red has all the things P99 has. Plus, right? Plus it has the PvP. We still gotta grind, right? We still gotta farm. We still gotta quest. We gotta do all those things, you know? We gotta live, laugh, love EQ. But meanwhile, we're doing stuff like checking who's in the zone. You know what I mean? Not to do like a camp check, but to make sure the ops aren't closing in, right? Like, there's a lot of constant struggle out here. Warring factions, ancient grudges even, you know? It goes back. It goes deep. I've been playing Red since P99 launched their beta, which was quite a while ago now, about 14 or 15 years. I took a break, came back. You got a 2-minute ad? Okay, I'll wait. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Let me hit you with the classic emote for that. All right. Let me know. Let me know when you're back. We're doing okay. I'm not sure if Sheriff would agree, but I think we're doing okay. Keeping them alive anyway. I mean, would a complete heal be more mana efficient? Yes. But I didn't do that. Too late for that. Alright, what do I like about Red? I know exactly what I like about Red. This is... I'm hoping the ad's over, because it's on the tip of my tongue. I want to get it out. What I really like about Red... okay. So keep in mind, I came from a blue background. I played originally on Moral Fool server, and then I re-rolled on Zev server. You know, I had an opportunity to get a little gear handout, probably about when World of Warcraft came out, and you know, some people were leaving EQ. You know, I took some gear on Zev. I started over there. But either way, they weren't PvP servers. I had a friend who was playing PvP, the one who got me into EQ, Tree Rat, played with Flowers of Happiness. You know, this will be important later. But I played on, you know, I played that Blue Life. I was a raid tank. I did big things for a long time, many expansions. I was deep in the EQ, sometimes even on the cutting edge of, you know, content. It was great. Loved it. But eventually I hit a point where it was like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? I'm grinding gear so that I can grind gear so I can, you know, I started to feel like I was spinning my wheels. And it's just, you know, it was whatever. Now, ever since the red beta on P99, I finally got that. I got the PvP bug. You know, Tree Rat was right. Tree Rat was right. The PvP was more fun because the it kind of matters more. Every piece of gear. It's not about killing the dragon easier. It's about beating my ops or defending myself and my friends. Like every edge you can gain like actually has a purpose. When was Red Beta? Probably about 2010, 2011. It was a long time ago. And we've had very little support on the server since it launched. I think the server launched 2011, so the beta was probably 2010. It was something like that. Just give Red a shot. You love PvP every game. So here's the thing. It's, obviously not fair, but life isn't fair, right? It's like, it's all about preparation. Like, we're sitting down here, buffs have faded, mana's lacking, HP's lacking. If somebody popped in, buffed up, full HP, ready to go, you know, they got quite the advantage. That's not something you'd have in a more fair PvP battleground type game, right? Like some people have had a decade plus of time to prepare. And if you're new here, it's an uphill battle to say the least. So you got to keep that in mind. But it just makes it all the sweeter when you get the upper hand. Um, and I always say pick your battles. Yeah, so runs with sheep. I took a little break. I took like 8 years off at one point, but I've been back like 3 years now streaming on Red 99, and it's been quite a hoot. The people on this server, a lot of them have been playing a long time, so they remember me before Twitch. So the fact that they can see what I'm up to on Twitch, they do. Some of them do, and they wait. And if we get too low, they might finally pop in. But like this isn't too low. We're doing fine. They're not in Guck. Maybe if we were out of town somewhere, uh, you know. Hey, thank you for that follow. Out of bounds, we might see a little more smoke right now, but this is Guck. This is Flowers of Happiness, like home turf. We got the home court advantage down here. Imagine everyone knows each other on Red. Yeah, it's a pretty small community, and that's part of the fun of like. Thank you for that follow. That's part of the fun of playing here, right? You could be somebody here. We look at the who all list and we know each other. Can't imagine starting over. Okay, so as said, it's a very uphill battle starting out on the server. People have been here doing their thing for a long time. I'm willing to help you out. You want some XP, you want some gear, whatever. Hit me up. Join my Discord. Let me pop a link in the. You know, I'm going to work after this stream, but anytime when I'm home, I'm willing to pop in for buffs, gear handouts, ports, whatever, stuff like that. And if I can't, somebody else in the swamp probably can. You don't know the swamp? Let me introduce you to the swamp. Let me get this link. And I gotta put it back on silent mode. Hold on. Streamer mode. There we go. Sorry, I have to turn off streamer mode to get the link and then turn on streamer mode. Otherwise, if somebody joins, it makes the notification sound, and then people are checking their phones. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to confuse you. That's the Discord link. I'm going to pin it. It's called The Swamp. Consider this your personal invitation. Come on down. There's a bunch of EQ enjoyers in there, but not just that. We enjoy talking about MTG a lot lately. You know what I mean? Magic the Gathering. It's a classic. It's been a hot topic because of the Final Fantasy VII set or whatever. You know what I mean? I even reinstalled Arena. I will admit I have not been doing my dailies every day though since reinstalling. I fell off. I got to get back on it. So much gaming, so little time in the day. Let's face it. But that being said, we're just getting started over here. Still got a nice solid EQ grind ahead of us. That must mean it's the rise and grind. Anyway, yeah, we'll give you gear. And it's no strings attached. You want to take this gear and become oppositional to the Flowers of Happiness? Hey, we probably deserve it for being so kind and trusting on the EQ PvP server. You know what I mean? We're the good guys. How is Mage, Enchanter, and Necromancer on red? I mean, they're just as powerful soloers here as anywhere else. But as far as in PvP, it's kind of as you would expect. Like, as a cloth caster, you're a little squishy. You know, you're going to be at a disadvantage in a lot of situations. But if you're, you know, sneaky enough, you know, maybe you do Gnome or something like that, where you can really get into a nook and then just send your pet on something. I mean, they got to find you to kill you, and they got to deal with your pet while they're looking for you. You know what I mean? Like, they could be great like ambush tunes like that, but it's all about preparation. You don't zone with your pet. You got to summon a new pet when you zone, so you really got to be there first. So I'd say it's situational more than anything. Necromancer's excellent PvP class. Life tap is just good math, you know. And dots. If people don't dispel or cure the dots, some of those could be very lethal. You know what I mean? Cast a splurt on somebody, and you know what I mean. If they don't deal with that, they're toast. There's ways to deal with it, obviously, but Mage, the only class you've never played. Yeah, I mean, I have a little magician. I had some fun leveling him up. I got the focus items from the Salro temple quests, you know what I mean, and kind of went to town. They're really good in a group. If you're familiar with the way P99 works with soloing and a pet, then you probably know that the pet is going to take some of the XP from you. You're not going to get the full amount if the pet deals most of the damage and stays out. So some people will get rid of the pet in one way or another and then finish it off themselves or something like that. I'd say the easier way, especially on red, power in numbers. You know what I mean? Hang out with some friends. Bring your friends to the server even. You know what I mean? Get them all to play with you. And as long as you have at least one other person in your group, you don't need to worry about all that pet XP stuff. You get, you know, group XP. Everybody's fine. And on red, they kind of give you a bonus for that. The XP is a little boosted for groups. It's a little boosted all the time, but it's like, you know, you see me putting in an authentic grind here. We're killing pretty tough stuff for, well, not really. Level 56 in lower Guck. Maybe it's a little below my range, but either way, it's not easy. It's still a grind. They're just trying to incentivize people to play here once upon a time. We do. But we would anyway. We would probably still play even if there was no bonus. But this is I shouldn't say it's this Flowers of Happiness Toxic Battle Cleric wipeout, right? He does it big. Sometimes I'll put on the AoE proc weapon, right? The Poison Wind Sensor, and it does hit other, you know, group members in my level range. There is bonus XP, yeah, a little bit. I'm not sure the exact percentage, but if you're in a full group, it's like the most noticeable, I would say. I mean, it's not really noticeable to me because I only play on red, but you know what I mean? Like, it's XP's like, you know, it moves. It moves in a way that's fine with me. It's not like too fast to be unclassic, and it's not too grindy to be, you know, unbearable. It's just right, you know? I logged on with a little chunk to go to 57, and I said I want a ding in the next 2 hours. You know? That's classic, and we're doing it classic. It's plus or minus 4 level PvP range, and it is coin loot only. Oh, when you get back with your food, I will still be here. You know, just getting started. And no XP loss on PvP death. Once upon a time there was. Once upon a time it was plus or minus 8 levels. And you could also corpse camp people if you wanted to, you know, keep them from looting their gear. It was the Wild West. And they kind of put a stop to it with a lot of salute, you know what I mean? Now you can't kill people when they're corpse running if they don't want you to, you know? That's fair. No sport in it anyway. And yeah, the XP loss, that was a little brutal. Admittedly. It takes... Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It wasn't resable either, the PvP death ones, but it was like a smaller loss. But it still would suck, I'm sure. Oh, Lurie got PvP loss from PvP? Yeah, kinda. You're referencing, of course, the time that the Highlander anti-pyretic found and defeated the AFK Alluri, and Alluri respawned at their bind and was farmed by a Freeport guard, apparently bound on top of a KOS guard. It's a little known story. A little known story. That was funny, honestly. And then somehow, some way, it got to the GMs, right? That somehow anti-pyretic had done something wrong, right? I don't know how the GMs would come to that conclusion, but they didn't. They researched it, they looked into it luckily enough and found no wrongdoing by our friend. I would hope not, right? If when it's a crime to defeat your op, that's when we've gone too far. To an elf law has overreached. Anyways, anybody still sipping some coffee? Cheers. We're just rising and grinding over here. If I had to guess how many Thursdays in a row we've been doing, like clockwork, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern, it'd probably be over 50. You know, is that bold? Am I bold for saying it? I feel like it's possibly even provably true. I would have to like actually like look at the YouTube and see. There's a YouTube. The link's in the about somewhere, right? If you can't find the YouTube link and you want it, let me know. Somewhere, one way or another, get you that link, of course. But it has all the old streams. I'd have to say there's probably at least 50 straight Rise and Grind streams. Isn't that crazy? I don't even think I'm being you know what I mean? I think that's like a very low estimate. I'm like clockwork. Lurk until you pass out. Hey, runs with sheep. Thank you again. Definitely gonna do you a little shout out right now. If anybody hasn't followed Runs with Sheep, join me in watching Runs with Sheep next time they're streaming. Especially if it's EQ. You know, we're a bunch of EQ enjoyers around here. Is Salt still around? Some of the players who used to be in Salt are probably still around, but the guild itself has not been seen in a long time. But you know how it goes. You know how it goes with some of us EQ enjoyers. We made that decision a long time ago. I remember Salt, for sure. You know what? And I'm even mixing up two guilds right now. Because I'm thinking of Fishbait, who was run by Salty. That's not who you're talking about. You're talking about the guild Salt. Yes, Salt is still around. Salt was who you were with. Some of Captain OCD. Hey, some of your guildies are definitely still playing, and some of them might even be still tagged Salt. I definitely know Salt. They're like recent. So I was thinking too far back. You know, I had to like focus the my memory beam a little more recently. And it's like, yes, another 2 minute ad. Hit you with an emote for that. The shaking frog lock for that one. I try to have the ads to a lower amount. You know what I mean? It's all right. I'm holding on. I'm holding on. See if anything else is up right now. I have like so much mana. This is great. Just checking some pops real quick while this ad finishes. I like when you tell me there's ads. That's good because that way I'm not, you know, telling my best story. Something. Yeah, everyone knows everyone. It's true. And if we don't, then you're mysterious, and that's maybe even cooler. You know? Yeah. You think that it's true? Like running around these zones, like you want to talk liminal spaces in EQ, you got to run through the EC tunnel on this zone on this server. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever seen an empty East Commons tunnel? Maybe like a corpse somewhere. It's weird. It's very weird. Bardotron, I will look into that. Thank you for notifying me. Um, exactly. That's what it is. It's a constant threat of danger. We don't always get to pick our fights. I like to try to. Like on Sunday, there was a couple fights that they were trying to pick for me, and I wasn't having it. And I know I'm putting it out there because I'm streaming, right? They know exactly who, what, where, and what to bring to counter that. You know, I like to make jokes about moving in silence and making silent moves, but deep down, I know that they know, right? It's silly, it's fun. You know, it's the kind of action that you'd never get on a blue server. No offense, right? I used to play blue, and I do watch, some friends play Quarm or, green. The occasional THJ stream, might be viewed by me. It's still EverQuest, and I can appreciate it. Um, but if there was any other red streams, I'd probably be giving them priority, right? Chillogan streams red every now and then. If anybody is not following Chillogan, I'm giving him a shout out right now. Click this. He's like the only other person streaming red these days. He's another flower of happiness. But here's a shout out. All right, playing off hours. I definitely want to do something soloable, like you said. If you're cool with fear kiting, I leveled up a Shadow Knight with the same kind of style. You know what I mean? A lot of times solo, but they're Shadow Knights are great in a group. They're a little adaptable like that. They're very adaptable. Enchanter's another one where you can solo. If you're a good enchanter, you can solo anything. Um, I'm not. I could solo some stuff. Uh, but in a group, you have a role also. You have a valuable role. There's no wrong answer. You play what you want to play. And keep in mind, end game EverQuest is always fashion quest, right? So pick something that looks good and you like to play because, at the end of the day, that's what really matters. Having fun. You main SK and love them? Hey, nice. skip it this time. I mean, if you want to be twinked off the bat, I have some spare SK gear, but you know, there's always room for more SKs on this server. I think we all have one in Flowers. Like, I'm not gonna say a requirement, but it happens a lot. Here's Sheriff Pepsi Man, right? Fardotron in the chat. He's a very solid flower, longer than me. You know, I've only been in the guild 15 years. I gotta salute the OGs. How is HT in PvP? It's the finisher. Let's face it. You know what I mean? It's exactly how you would expect it to be. Awesome, fair, balanced. Okay, fine. It's like kind of OP. I love it. Yeah, I know. We've listen. Flowers is Wisconsin is the Northern Star, and you know, and it's true. I'm kind of like a new guy. Let's face it. This guild's been like family to me. You know, we're one big happy family. Emphasis on the happy. It's flowers of happiness. Get it? But, you know, some people still don't like us, right? They're upset over something or other. You know, whether they got their fungi tunic jacked in seventh grade, or Fancy the Bard, said something silly while a bunch of sand giants killed them. You know, whatever it was. Some of these people have some deep seated issues with us, and that's fun. You know, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, we're the real deal. Anyways, we're just getting started over here. Sheriff had to pass out. Like I said, shift change time over here. You know, I'm the day shift, morning shift. Here to, you know, chop the cucumbers and wash the dishes that got left from last night. You know how it goes in the morning. I actually haven't been in food service in a long time. I thought that was my career for life. I thought you were like, set in your path, almost like it's The Sims or something. Holy shit, I should probably be healing. I, I'm like the worst healer. I should get off the cleric. So I can't even. Nobody expects me to. You watch a streamer, you chat with a bit on Red, end up ganking them outside COM, and they were so upset about it. That's really funny. Nah, it wasn't me because I haven't gotten upset yet on from anything that's happened on EQ or Twitch in that regard. I like to first of all, I like to win. So I haven't really been getting punked like that. They were super upset. Yeah, it definitely wasn't me. That sounds hilarious. I wish I was there. Um, do you remember anything about their name or what they were playing in game? You offered to help them corpse run, they ignored you. Oh, that's when you know people are salty when they won't take that. You know what I mean? You're offering your hand out. You're helping them up. That's like slapping your hand away. That's rough. Um, gotcha. Oh, oh, you know what? I think I remember this guy. I think I fought him too. But I didn't know he was a streamer until after I fought him. I was streaming, and somebody told me while I was fighting a guy that he was also a streamer, but I hadn't seen him stream. That was a long time ago now. It's a couple of years. Good times. Yeah. Okay. So I also beat his ogre right here. I was on my Shadow Knight. I made a TikTok of he was in here fighting like the whole room, and I just come in on my Shadow Knight and splatter him with a harm touch. You know what I mean? And I added a silly you know, audio track to it and maybe some captions and put it up on TikTok because that's what I do. I'm the #1 EQ PvPer on TikTok, self-proclaimed. But I've been self-proclaiming it for years now, and nobody's called me on it, so it must be true. You know, there's no other EQ PvPer on TikTok like that. But anyway, yeah, good. Thank you for reminding me of this. What was that ogre's name? Ugna. Right? Shout out to Ugna. You know, it's nothing personal. I would, if anybody comes to Guck, I got a harm touch for him. It's just, it is what it is. I got a couple harm touches lined up. It depends on what level you are, which harm touch you're getting. But it's just classic. That's just the way I like to do things. You know, ever since I came back, I've been trying to just recreate what I used to have. What I used to have was an arsenal of Shadow Knights in Guck, ready to go, you know? Pick one, play it, and keep the zone happy. And I came back. My account was banned, which sucked. But they told me, hey, you can make a new account. Made a new account. I'm better than ever, you know? They can't stop me like that. Anyways, let's blast this friggin' thing. Never soloed on SK. How is soloing? Oh, it's awesome. You fear stuff, and it's you know, snare, fear, hit it in the back, and you don't really have to take any damage. Oh yeah, you could solo to 60 if you wanted to. You just got to find a nice quiet spot for that last few levels. Once you pass 55, right? When you hit 56, you're in range to 60s, and that's when the real, you know, the fun begins, because it's a top-heavy server. As you would expect, it's old, you know. It ain't fresh. There's a lot of people with 60s, perhaps multiple. I wonder if I have enough mana to finish this thing. I was a little bold. Alright, I'll put my other hammer on. Swings a little faster. Procs a little less hard, but more often I would say, right? I'm just counting on a proc. I don't have stun up. What kind of gear I have laying on the side? Oh, I got all sorts of gear. I don't have a spare weighted axe right now, but I'll try to pick one up if you play a fatty, because obviously those are very strong. Oh boy. Oh boy. The star is almost dead, but let's face it, so am I. I don't have too much in the form of free anything, right? Counting on a proc here. Maybe I'll do my haste. I know higher chance per swing of a proc, but this thing's so low that I don't even really need a proc. I just need to hit it a couple times. Yeah, weighted axe is so good. So the meta on this server, I'll tell you straight up. I don't like to keep secrets. I don't like to gatekeep information on the server or how to play or how to succeed. You know, I tell everybody. You know, it's all about strafing, right? You can't keyboard turn. That'll never fly, right? If you're in the habit of using, you know, the arrow keys or, you know, whatever, even if you're using WADs, if you have your keys bound to turning versus strafing, you're probably gonna have a tough time, right? You use the mouse to turn, the keys to strafe, and that keeps you mobile. As long as you do stuff like that, and oh, what I'm getting at is weighted axe. The new meta, new to me because it came up in the 8 years I was retired from EQ, is they equip a weighted axe and then use a bow, and they call it Bow Quest, right? For some reason on this server, and by this server I mean all P99 servers, the shit. Whew! I got my proc. Bow Quest is real, yeah. Anyway, my new shtick is that I love BowQuest, so I'm kind of breaking character here on that. It's messed up. They haven't patched it. I don't know why it's still in the game. If this was live EQ, they would have, emergency patched it as soon as it was noticed. They would have, if they couldn't figure it out, they would have just removed weighted axe from the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's too good. That's a clutch proc. I was starting to panic, honestly. But yeah, it's the way it ends up working out is, you're used to maybe using your bow, hitting for a dozen damage or whatever. It's nothing much, just a little couple. It's for pulling. It's not a damage thing. You equip the weighted axe in your primary slot, and that same bow, same arrow, is hitting for 70, 80 damage. If you're a warrior, you can do critical hits with that bow, and you become the best range class in the game. That's why I say it's no way, shape, or form intentional or classic, right? Everybody knows Rangers are the best range class, right? That's pretty much all they had going for them besides track. So the fact that fatty warriors become top tier, and then fatty SKs just below that, and then Rangers somewhere else, it just makes it feel wrong. But anyway, done breaking character. I love BowQuest. It's so good. I hope they never patch it because, crying for them to patch it didn't work. Anyway, I have a warrior. If you can't beat him, join him. It's the meta. Even bow use, right? The AAs are what made bows good. I know. You always wanted to get a warrior 60. So that was my first main. I played a warrior on live for a long time. I think I got to level 85 with like a billion jillion AAs. I was deep. I was deep in it. But you know, now I SK main. But I do play a warrior. I got a 55 warrior, almost 56. All right, I'll wait till after the ad's over. Here, I'll be right back. All right, all right. We're just getting started over here. It's 7 a.m. Means we're about halfway through the Ice and Grind morning. I'm about halfway through my last mug of coffee. It's a big mug, so I'm pretty well caffeinated. I might be bouncing off the walls at work today. Might. Um. Oh, what am I doing? No, 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 no! Don't pacify me. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm like, okay, good, we're back, but I still have no mana, no HP. Let me chill. Let me chill. You're gonna crash in about 20 minutes. Hey, fair enough. It's you know, crash time somewhere. Like I said, I'm early to bed, early to rise these days, but I used to do the night shift. It's, the worst part to me was when everything stopped being open 24 hours when where I live. I might still be on night shift if it was still like, the before times. Uh, you know how maybe where you're at is different, but where I'm at, once upon a time, there was the 24-hour Walmart, there was the 24-hour this, the 24-hour that. Maybe not everything was 24 hours, but all that stuff stopped being open 24 hours because they had to clean during you know, the shutdown, and then they never opened 24 hours again. Now there's some 24-hour gas stations, luckily, but even for a period of time, like you couldn't even. There's certain hours you couldn't even get gas. Just don't run out of gas, And if you're night shift, you're hit. Like you get out of work, nothing's open. You're trying. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's your day off. You're awake in the night and nothing's open. You can't go shopping. You gotta like go shopping after work when you're all tired, or it's rough. Anyway, not like it used to be. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like things changed. They saw the opportunity to just get rid of that. Fully took that opportunity. I assume they probably ran the numbers and they're like, you know what? People just spend their same money during the day. We were making this much over 24 hours, and we're still making about that over 12 hours or whatever. Let's just do that. Have less, probably less people walking out with stuff in the daytime versus the nighttime too. I would assume. I don't know. Just the cover of darkness like that. Like, anyways, I'm assuming too much. I make wild speculations on this stream. I'm known for that. We'll just kind of start. Like we could speculate wildly about all these players that are on right now, right? Let's start with what we know, right? Klonoa. I do not know who the player is, but I know this toon is a cleric, and they're sitting in the Firat, and they're probably AFK. Run up on them and get a few hits on them, and then they'll probably gate. If they react in time, that we know that, right? That's a given. I don't know. I know Black Fox, right? That's a 60 druid. One of the 3 level 60s that are on right now. Count 60 druid all. 1 level 60 druid. So that narrows it down a little bit. That was a PS2 game? Really? Was it a good one? I feel like there's some enchanters on right now. Alright, we'll count the enchanters. There are 2 enchanters. One of them's level 60. Furry stuff. Interesting. Did I ever get revenge on the druid that ran up on me on Ice Giants? So I hear they're still bound in Perma. I ended up going to Kunark on that warrior. I haven't gone back to Perma yet. But I will. So honestly, they're trying to get revenge on me because I've gotten kill on them and I've caused them a lot of other deaths. They can avoid the yellow text. The one that counts by dying to Sarnax and stuff, and so that's happened I think a few times, but that doesn't count. But I did get yellow text on them once, so it's basically we're 1-0. And not counting plugs, I've made them plug a bunch of times, and then I plugged on stream a couple times, right? But it wasn't like I don't think any of those were like close call plugs. They were more me being stubborn. I wasn't trying to give them the satisfaction of having the upper hand, right? Because they were, what they were doing. They were watching the stream. As soon as I run out of arrows, now they're coming with the druid. They're coming with the rogue, and it's tough. It's tough to dispel yourself when you're getting hit by a rogue, because there's 0 channeling and there's 0 instant dispels, right? We used to have instant dispels on this server. Golem Wand, right? You may be used to Golem Metal Wand being instant cast where you're from. On Red 99, they were nerfed to be what, 2-second cast time? Okay, no problem. 2-second cast time is pretty fast, right? Okay, what if you have 0 channeling? 2 seconds might as well be 10 minutes. You're never going to cast it. It's not happening. Not in the heat of the moment with a melee on you. So, you know what I mean. Like, I wasn't letting that happen. And maybe that's, you know, not very champion of me, but it is what it is. Pick your battles. I stand by that. They'll nerf the cast time on that item, but not fix bow quest. I know, right? I know, right? And the thing is, it's an item that anybody could go get. It drops off like a level 35 mob. Like, what's the big deal? Just go, you know? Golem Wand's too strong. Go get some Golem Wands. Anyway, whatever. Oh, my research for the drama. So the dude, I wasn't able to find any screenshots of the Spurgout, or I shouldn't say Spurgout because I don't know exactly what you would call what happened, but there was some drama, right? The D level drama. I was thinking maybe Sunday we'll try to get DJ Extra Slice to tell us all about it. I'll see if he's around to, you know, maybe we'll even see if he'll hop in voice chat and tell us the story live. I don't want to speak for him, you know what I mean? But he was there, right? Or at least it'd be straight from his mouth, so it'd be like secondhand info, right? Rather than him tell me and then me tell you, that'd be like third hand. I wanna hear it straight from the source as we can. If we could find out who de-leveled, then we can maybe get some first-hand info, but I don't know if anybody wants to do that. We'll see. Anyway, what we do know, a witness statement, that's what we need. Right, the journalistic integrity in the swamp. Exactly. I don't want to just, like, I'll make wild speculations, but if I'm reporting news, I want to be as accurate. But what I've heard, the drama rumor that I heard yesterday, right when I was playing Tony Hawk, or maybe it was Dungeon Crawler. I remember exactly what happened. I was like talking and yapping, reading the chat as far as this drama, and then that claw thing happened where my turn ended. I was like, what? Huh? But anyway, it's all coming back to me. So the story is DJ Extra Slice was saying something in OOC about the somebody's tune got de-leveled. Ungertoe got de-leveled. What I hear is someone in DOZ got/had access to it and logged in and bound it, and it got in a death chain. Is that the facts? This is the rumor I heard. My understanding of it. If I'm mistaken, I'd like to, get it straightened out now. This is what I heard. If I have the sides mixed up, then I'm sorry. I've seen Ungertoe in the Who All list, but I don't know who that is. So it's something I can't really speak on, and I haven't asked. That's the rumor you're trying to confirm. Gotcha. Oh. Force stun me. I have a decent amount of mana. What I need to watch out for is this thing warping, right? I'm rooted. If its root breaks, this thing's going to warp, and I'm going to be in big trouble. I'll probably just have to gate. I need to get to the right spot before its root breaks. You're going to go Crash? Hey, thanks for hanging out, and I appreciate the follow. And you'll definitely see me on Sunday. I'll be here Sunday Swamptacular Splash Fest 2025. And yeah, Hop in the Discord. I'll be able to act on anything after work, you know, if you're around this evening, or whatever, you know. Okay, I got to the spot. That's good. It did warp briefly, but it came back. Just a problem spot. Probably an all P99, but if you stand in the right spot, it comes back. Stand in the wrong spot, you'll see it reappear a couple times. It'll like flicker from like ceiling to floor. But then it goes somewhere, I think over by hand room. I don't know where it goes, but it's bad. Trains like the whole zone on me. Especially if you're sitting, right? You know how it goes. Sitting is the most offensive gesture you can ever do in EverQuest, according to NPCs. You know, insult their mothers. They, you know, they don't like it, but they don't, you know, they just kind of, you know, you could tell they don't like it, but they don't really act on it. But sit down. Oh, you're gonna get the whole town on you. Anyways, very close to ding now. Very close. Ishiwatari had to go as well a while ago. Back to my lonesome, just a little solo. Doesn't bother me, you know. Cleric soloing undead. Does it get any better? Might as well be a wizard that has heals. Just like a wizard, though. You know, mana is everything. All right. I'm always talking about preparation. I'm always talking about zone awareness, right? And knowledge is power. Let's go see what's going on in the swamp. Let's make sure. Hit the J boots. And then for the next 17 minutes or whatever, have that blessing of Boot Strutter, you know what I mean? We see down here in Upper Duck. Make sure nobody's sneaking up on us. You know? Nothing. Secure. Just the way I like it. A little walkabout, right? I was on the Bard, I'd probably take a bigger lap, you know? Patrol southeast Antonica a little bit. Maybe you can go like coast to coast or something, but Bard speed spoils me. The supplier was up, right? Go see what he drops. He's gonna drop the bag. And I don't need the bag. But if he drops the belt, I'll take it. It's not lore. And it's not like heavy or anything. It'll just go right in the bag. I'll probably have to drop some sort of rune or something. You know, that'd be a nice little treat. Guck provides little treats. Gotta, you know, hard to play other classes after all Bard benefits. I know, right? That's why when you see me play the Bard on stream, you can almost put money that you're gonna see at least a couple streams in a row of the Bard, right? Because it hooks me all over again every time. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing this. We're charming. We're running fast. You know, regen is no matter. There's no real downtime on a Bard. Casting while running, right? So that's the thing about putting cast time on Golem Wand. You're just making bards more powerful. You know, that's the unintended consequence of that. Like bards needed no help with you know, being OP. Now they're even more OP. Oh boy, I thought I would just pull the one for some reason. Oh shit. Hopefully this gate works. Oh. We're in trubs. We're gonna die. Alright. Good thing I just got the J boots on, huh? Let's run this out. I got a little sloppy, a little complacent, you know, a little too proudy, you know? I thought I could just nuke that thing, pull it solo, get in my nook, you know? Instead, I aggroed 3 up there and 1 down below. And it was a good old fashioned frog flop. Right, the only thing I'm nervous about is I'm going too fast and these things are gonna like end up in front of me somehow. You know? Maybe I should have went to upper. Not through the water, right? The water would have doomed me. Running through undeads, I would have got rooted by something. And they would have all caught up in the water. Even though my swimming's decent, it's just you know, it is what it is. Gotta be real about it. They haven't come from in front of me yet, so I think I'm good. This worked. That was almost disaster. I mean, whatever. I would have rezzed myself. But if, you know, who wants all that? Anyways, that was fun. We can go check out the Firat. I bet I'm too high level. Let's count. There's a 52 cleric online. How many clerics are on? 3 clerics. So there is a chance that the 52 cleric is not the cleric that's in the Firat, and I'll be out of range. But let's see. Let's do an estimator. 46, 51 clerical. If there's one. Oh, okay. So I'm saying 99.9% chance this cleric out here is in my range, okay? We're going to make a silent move out there. Nobody knows, especially not this cleric, that I'm sneaking up on. That I'm silently traversing the swamp and approaching the Firat, right? That's a little secret between me and you. Nobody knows that. Let's go. Go to Firat. I'm going to engage a fellow cleric in one-on-one PvP combat. Okay, that's our little secret. It'll be a surprise, and I don't really have mana, right? It's perhaps not a smart move, but they don't know I don't have mana, right? It's like a bluff. Like I said, if somebody's jumping somebody, you know that they're buffed and ready, right? They're choosing the fight. So why would I choose a fight that I'm not prepared for? It doesn't make sense. So obviously, I have mana, right? We're going to use the power of suggestion to win this battle. Anyway, did I go the wrong direction when I hit the wall? Might have. Yeah. Making good progress, indeed. I know, my goal was to ding before work, and here I am running across the swamp, approaching the Firat, which I'm going to have to run all the way across, to do something that doesn't involve gaining XP. You might even call it counterproductive. You know? Sometimes I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to leveling up. Zilkril, it's good to see you. You know? No. Nobody's going to be tilted except this cleric that I'm about to fight. That bar is full. Look at it. Look at it. That's probably what, 90, let's call it 96%. You know that last hidden bit. Shit. What's going on here? I missed the zone line? Twice? I'm over here yapping. I'm not like observing. It's all good. Rodkin knife, yeah. That's the mothership, right? They're gonna beam me back home when I'm done with my quest. When I finally win EverQuest, they're gonna just beam me up. This is one of those things that gets spoiled about the Bard. The Bard would have been there and back by now. Instead, I'm over here fumbling around J-boot speed. Why do I have this so bright? I got a couple light sources, it looks like. This thing, definitely. Right, I don't want to blow up the spot too bad. And that thing. There we go. It's like my shitty night vision. That's the issue. Looking for some PvP always. You know Zilkril. Just a little intermission. You know, anything but medding. I will do anything but med. As we know. Okay. Made that silent move in, right? Re-equip. Because I've talked about it before, right? The zone line ghost. When somebody zones in, it's like turning the lights on if you have a big light source. Because you'll appear near them, and even if they don't see you, they see you because of that light source, right? I'm going to take it off again when I get a little closer. But right now, reversing the jungle, I got it on. We know, I say we, but you know, if you don't know, I'll show you exactly where this cleric is at, because I do know where this cleric is. You know, they're predictable, always there. I'm going to show you. They're going to be right by the tree, right near the first specter. Maybe they'll be sitting, maybe they'll be standing, but I doubt they'll be at their keyboard, right? It's very predictable. They do this thing, right? They'll stand there for a bit, getting hit, and then they'll gate. And maybe they got their volume up really loud, and they're in the same room, and they hear it and they run back. Whatever it is, they've been doing this for, I'd say, months out here at the same camp. I respect it, you know, keeping red populated. Anyways, yeah, let's sneak up. Sneak up in the dark. Spooky. Like too dark. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to get a little XP too. Damn, where am I? It's so dark out here. I'm used to playing a troll, you know, and I can actually see shit. It'll be worth it for that element of surprise. I ended up pretty far north from where I thought I was, though. Alright, should be sitting right around this tree. Right? Am I facing east? Yes. Okay. We should see them any second now. They have a light source. They might have moved. It'd be a smart play. Maybe they took off their light source. Alright. Under cover of darkness. Makes you really appreciate Troll's vision. Because I run around in the dark on my Troll all day. All night. And, never like this. Oh, hey, Winnie zooming. Crashing through. What did I tell you about this predictable play, though, over here? Try him with a J-boot. Or a J-man stick, I should say, the Tash proc. But anyway, they're going to come back and gate. If I hit him with the Tash, I'll be able to land stuns, maybe, perhaps. Speaking of, probably memorize as many as possible. At least 2. So they're bound by South Row in the swamp, but they'll plug when they gate. There we go. Landed the Tash. It made a lot of noise though, right? Casting spells and stuff like that makes noise. So they're gonna hear that and come back faster. What thrilling combat. I predicted this ahead of time, so I can't act surprised. I was a little slow. Oh! The stun landed. I was very little slow. Sorry, maybe we can catch them before they, I said they plug, but maybe they camp. They're just not gonna stick around long at their bind. I know, the stun land. I hesitated for a sec. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll proc. But then I was like, what am I doing? I have a hate stun up. The whole plan is stun. But anyway, I think they're right on the other side of the zone line in South Row. But They've probably already been sitting and camping. It is what it is. Like I want the kill, but at the same time it was like boring. Like killing an AFK player is like disappointing, I guess. Like you want especially for me. I'm trying to farm a little clip over here, you know what I mean? I want a little something to crop into a vertical form and upload on TikTok with a silly soundtrack and maybe some you know, funny noises and you know, standing there AFK, you're not giving me much to work with. Maybe that's the plan. Deny me the clips. Hit me where it hurts. It's all good though. I gotta be careful what I wish for. Right? Don't want them too lively. You know? Just a little lively. Anyway, they're still online. Off to work. Hey, I appreciate the lurk, Antonius Block Party. I'll be joining you in the, you know, the clock in department in a very short amount of time here. We're just getting started though, especially on this thrilling combat. Now the player has been awoken. You know, maybe they were asleep. Maybe they took a little nappy poo and they heard the sound of Wipeout wiping them out. Got up. Who knows? Oh, they changed their bind. Oh, I just missed. That's what happened. Barely missed. Maybe if I, you know, had levitate on and I took a cut across the water. Maybe. I was in too much of a rush to hit the lev though. It's alright. Can I finish off 56? Is the real question. So, speaking of AFK players, or I should say clip deniers, right? There's this, the third player in that list there is the Shadow Knight that keeps hitting /Q every time I fight him. They won't give me a clip. It's, ugh. Like I said, they're hitting me where it hurts. Like I think they found the secret. You know, my kryptonite. It's not that I can't kill them; they just take the fun out of it. They take the whatever. It's all good. I did not check the summoner. Right, we can run by the summoner. Maybe the ancient croc. These are just things that are going to delay my dingage. But on second thought, forget it. Summoner's not up. Let's just assume it's not up. Ancient croc, also not up. It could be, but I'm just trying to convince myself, you know. And when it really comes down to it, it's not like I need either one of those drops. It's just I don't like to leave names up. That's why I was going for the supplier. It's all coming back to me now. I almost died against that supplier. It's quiet / who 5 players. Hey, thank you for that first time chat. Good to see you. I appreciate you being here. And Twitch recommending you. Listen, that's high praise. I appreciate Twitch recommending me. I hope not to let them down. We're here doing it big on a Thursday morning. It's called Rise and Grind, right? I like to get up bright and early every Thursday morning. And, you know, simulate a little elf life. You know, it's my favorite elf sim. Right now I'm playing a human. That's why my vision's so bad at night. Here in Lower Guck, my favorite zone, my homeland, right? I defend this all the time. Flowers of Happiness, You know, it's our birthright. we got to keep it happy. It's just the way it's got to be. Lower Gawk. Yep. It's the place to be. It's a classic zone, you know, it's from the original, you know, EverQuest, no expansions. But it's a fine place to be. It's a dark blue. It's the ad for the room. I might just pull it. I know my mana's a little low, but all I need is a few lucky procs, right? I get a little bold sometimes. This is one of those times. I'm not buffed. You know? You play Ultima Online? Hey, nice. I dabbled in that a little bit a long time ago. I was never like super into it, but I had a couple friends that were, and they got me to try it. I remember like hitting some deer, collecting some meat or something like that. Stuff like that, real basic things. I appreciate the architecture of that game, you know? Just one of those things where, you know, EQ for me might be like how UO is for you, as far as I decided a long time ago that I enjoy EverQuest. I'm sticking with that. You know what I mean? Time goes by, I still enjoy it. An enjoyable game. You know, 5,000 years of EverQuest uh, is my hope. As an emulator player, I feel like it's maybe in a little bit of muddy waters right now. There's an ongoing lawsuit between, you know, the IP holder, Daybreak Games, and one of the popular emulators of the, you know, of the time, THJ. But there's a couple extenuating circumstances that separate it from the server I play on. But you know, I'm still following the story closely. You know, the Daybreak lawyers filed their side, THJ lawyers filed their response, and oh boy, it's shit's wild. Did I play RuneScape as a kid? Nah, I never played RuneScape any more than I played UO. You know, I think it was a similar situation. I might have defeated some deer and collected some meat, but I don't remember too much else. But my brothers are like big time RuneScape fans. You know, while I was playing EQ, they were playing RuneScape. Another game I can really appreciate the community of. Makes me wish I got in on that party hat business or whatever, you know what I mean? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's going in the pit. It's going in the pit. No. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Remember I was talking about... Okay, good. Whew. Don't want those things to get lost in there. It's usually more of a problem if they have some sort of snare and they take that one last step and then the snare kicks in like while they're question mark, question mark, question mark. It's just a buggy spot. RuneScape's so addictive, says Zilkaril. So you've binged, huh? You've been on a RuneScape bender, Zilkaril. It is what it is, you know. These grindy games kind of require some commitment, right? And if you decide you're in, you know, you better clear the calendar for a little bit and tell your friend, you know what I mean? Check in with your friends, otherwise they might get nervous. Haven't seen you in a while. But anyway, if EQ launches a new red server, I would probably ramp up my commitment a little bit for the launch, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I try to... Who am I kidding? I'm fully immersed. I love the swamp Love this place. Hey, speaking of the swamp, I got a Discord. It's called The Swamp. I'm going to pop the link in the chat. If anybody's new here and you haven't joined the Discord yet, what are you waiting for? Consider this your personal invitation to come on down. The water's fine. Place to be. We talk EQ. We talk MTG. We talk other games too sometimes, right? If I'm playing a new thing on Steam, I might show you, you know? Especially if it's something that I can't stream, like Gnomes. Only way I can show you Gnomes is describing it in Discord, really. I wish I could stream that one. I gotta keep trying. Maybe if I do like some sort of virtual machine, you know, virtualize the environment, play Gnomes in there, and then stream the virtual environment, maybe it'll work. But nothing I've tried so far. Everything just streams a black screen. If I do full screen, you know, capture, it still doesn't capture the Gnomes. If I do, you know, if I screenshot it, it still doesn't work. Anyway, stream it in Discord. I'll try the dude. That could work. That could possibly work. Maybe we'll give that a shot because I do enjoy that game. But if I'm gonna be enjoying a game, you know, it could be a little lonely enjoying it all by my lonesome. I'd rather be chatting it up, you know, hanging with the pals, you know, the dude, Zilkaril, anybody. But yeah, Discord. That I didn't think of that option. I could try that. I did try OBS and Streamlabs, right? Try different software to capture it. Who knows? I have a capture card. When I used to stream PlayStation games, I was running it through Elgato or whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe if I ran it on a different machine and, you know, captured that machine, maybe I could get. You know, there's got to be a way, but it doesn't. It seems like a known issue. Other people have tried to stream it and been like, "Why doesn't this work?" You know, weird bug or something. Anyway, let's see what pops. Says I'm hungry and out of food. Maybe I'll summon a little food. Yeah, we're just getting started over here. I got to keep an eye on my phone because I'm going to be dashing out the door any minute. I appreciate everyone that's been hanging out this morning. Let me say it now in case I got a dash. You know what I mean? A big thank you. Anybody who rises and grinds with me, or if you're still up from the night before, whatever it is, you know what I mean? I'm happy you're here, and I hope to see you Sunday. You know, Swamptacular Splash Fest. It's big. It's huge. It starts at 6 a.m. just like this stream did, but it goes, you know, till I can't continue anymore. Usually 7 hours. So that's a good stream, if I do say so myself. I have a lot of fun doing it. We'll be on number 32, I believe, of 2025. That's just Sundays. It'll be the 32nd Sunday. So what does that tell you? I'm batting 1,000. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not skipping it. I'm not sleeping in. It's, you know, I look forward to it. And it's always EQ. Solid EQ stream. And it was pretty lively last weekend. I'm hoping this weekend see some flowers. There was some flowers last weekend too, you know. But there was some times where I was getting outnumbered, and that's you know, I was out of bounds. I like to hang out in Southeast Antonica, you know, home base, control the base, and you know, people know. They respect the boundary. I was in like Northwest Antonica. I was like about as far out of bounds as you can be, and you know, feeling some pressure, but it was fun. It was all good times, all fun times. Win, lose or draw. I love EQ PvP, and I don't think I lost any. I think there was a couple draws. You know, it's a little scuffle, a little scuffleage. I gotta protect that plat. You know, coin loot server. I'm running around with 500 plat on me. I gotta protect that. The stakes, you know, climbing higher by the giant kill. Good times. Solid stream. Maybe we'll do it again this weekend. You know, haven't decided yet. We'll see what we do. To be real, stream started out in the hole, And that got busted up, right? We got jumped by a rogue that was in range to me. I was playing Wipeout, and only I was in range to the rogue. And I think that's probably the worst matchup I've ever heard in my life. Cleric versus rogue. Unbuffed, out of mana, cleric versus rogue. That's oof. Not the kind of battle I would pick. But, I got out of there safely. And the wizard caused the rest of the group to scatter. It is what it is, Now that they had no healer, this, of course, coincidentally happened while we're fighting the golem, right? Like we pull something tough we're struggling with, and then we get jumped mid-fight. What a coincidence! Who would have thought? Never would have expected that. How'd they know? Lucky guess, I suppose. Anyways, it's all fun. I love that stuff. That's why I'd always check /who. They didn't catch me sitting, They didn't. I don't think they hit me with a single backstab. I was ready. It was close. If I was like kicked back, just relaxing, oh, they would have hit me with that sitting backstab. If that was a double backstab, I might have been toast. Anyways, let's kill this Jingul wizard before the end of the stream. I don't think this is gonna ding me. Remember I was saying if I can't get that little bit of XP in 2 hours, I got some problems. I think my biggest problem was, getting sidetracked. I ran all the way to Firat just to make a cleric gate. Good times though. I'd do it again. Pulling this with, not full mana. It's a bold move, but I'm feeling bold. Ooh, interrupted me. Where's my mouse? Alright. Oh, goodness. It interrupted me again. This fight is off to a regrettable start. Maybe I'll hit it with a pumice. Oh, it's trying to hit me with a big nuke. I hope I resist this. I really do. I did not. Alright. I do have a heal over time on me, though. So. We're chilling. We're cooling. Alright. A little mana back. What's its HP at? 79. All good. It's all good. I might want to hit it with one more Dispel. No rush. Let the root break or something. I'll nuke it. And then Dispel it. Oh, never mind. Interrupted. Never mind. Not interrupted. I gotta get around this corner. This is going okay. I've seen worse. Seen better. I think I forgot to summon food, which means I'm not regenning HP. But luckily I can heal myself. Okay. 50 mana-ish. 47 mana. 60% HP on the ghoul. I think I'm going to need a couple procs here. And this is definitely my last fight because I got to run out the door after this. So, if anybody's streaming and wants a raid, let me know now. I'll set that up for you. But otherwise, I'll be left to my own devices to pick a raid. I'm sure I'll pick a good one. Especially if it's an EQ stream. Can't go wrong. So many great EQ streamers on Twitch. Maybe I'll like kind of chain stun. One more nuke. Hopefully. Yeah. Perfect. Easy. Wasn't even scary. Alright. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I had a real blast today. I hope you enjoyed it. Rise and Grind is, you know, I'm going to go ahead and call it my second favorite stream of the week. Sunday Swamptacular Splash Fest, obviously number one. Tuesday, or, you know, Tuesday, whatever day it falls on. You know, number 3 is still a solid finish for it. It's my third favorite. It's climbing the ranks, though. Those are the 3 streams of the week. Tuesday, Thursday, Rise and Grind, right here, right now, and Sunday Swamptacular Splash Fest. Thanks for hanging out. Check out the YouTube channel, join the Discord, find me on social media at Chewy What a Wookie. You know, I'm doing it big. I'm an EQ content creator in 2025. So you already know what that means. I could use all the help I can get. Please help me out. You know, it's there's a time and a place for everything, and I'm saying right here, right now. Okay, you know, let's go. Let's find who is streaming EQ. Nobody's streaming EQ right now? Is that it? Is that true? Okay. Well, I guess I gotta find. Okay. Well, let's raid this guy. He's streaming some game. What game is this? Looks like World of Warcraft, I guess. Anyway, tell him all about EQ, I guess. You know, or at least show him some love from Red 99. That's what I usually say. Usually we're streaming a, you know, raiding an EQ stream. But it is what it is. If there was an EQ stream to raid, it wasn't showing up in my my list. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. See you again soon. Peace.